Hi, everyone. Welcome to another week of A Moment of Harmony. I am always so excited for all of us to come together. I am just always grateful for a healing space. And that's what a moment of harmony is. It is a space for healing, it is a space for reflection, it is a space for growth and revitalization. Y'all know I always got to get this camera together once I get it on because unfortunately they do not allow you to see things before you go live. And I've said that 1,000 times. You can like very vaguely see what everyone is about to see when you go live. So, but we're adjusted. We're all adjusted. I want to give great thanks and love and joy and welcoming and excitement for this moment today. For many of you who have been following me, you already know we are in a 32-week series entitled A Matter of Moments. We previously were in a affirmation series. After this moment series, we're going into a declaration series. Child, the healing is just going to be nonstop, okay? Because the trauma, the disruption, the distractions, they're all nonstop. So we're going to be, y'all know I always got to fix my little thing over here on the side. That's be them hips moving things around. My sisters know what I'm talking about. So, but my thing is, you're here. You're here. I'm grateful that you're here. And let's have a beautiful, beautiful moment. So, I'm in love with this session. I am in love. Beautiful rising. Hi, beautiful lady. It was so wonderful seeing you the other weekend. I swear it's been too long. But this session, this episode today is entitled Intimate Moments. Intimate moments. And y'all, I am so happy to talk about intimacy. It is one of my favorite subjects. I'm happy to talk about intimacy, and we're going to be breaking it down into three parts: self intimacy, spiritual intimacy, and intimacy with others. And intimacy is so grand and great and big. It's a big deal when it comes to healing because intimacy is connection. And we cannot heal anything disconnected. We cannot heal anything that we're not touching, that we're not moving through, that we're not working with. So, intimacy is a major component to healing, growing, and becoming. And for those that have intimacy issues with either themselves or others, or even with the Creator, we are going to tune in today because we cannot heal what we cannot feel. Okay, so we have to be able to go within for that. So again, we're going into this session. I'm welcoming you. I'm giving your disclaimer. It's gonna be the raw truth thing, okay? Because this intimacy thing is a big deal for me. It is something that I am highly inclined towards because I crave deep connections with all things. I crave deep connections to the earth, deep connections to nature, deep connections to children, to life, period. I crave deep connections to love and the Creator. And I'm saying the deep connections are a major result of our intimacy skills, our using intimacy to heal, our using intimacy, most importantly, to grow. So let's get all up into this intimate moment, okay? The first part is going to be self-intimacy. Then we're going to go into inclusive intimacy, which is with others. And then spiritual intimacy, we're going to close out with that because that to me is the most important. Even though I can say one is the most important, they're all connected. If you're disconnected intimately in any of these areas, you are going to suffer intimately in any of the other areas, if not all of the other areas. So you are not going to be having intimate spaces with others if you do not thrive in intimate spaces with self. You are not going to be having intimate spaces with self if you can't have intimate spaces with other or spirituality. You cannot have an intimate connection to the Creator without having intimate connections to others and self. Look, you see how they all work all together? They do. That's how it goes down. So I want us to really understand that while I break them down, As a people of African culture, we understand they are all connected. And speaking of African culture, I ran into at a wedding last week my facilitator, my Wally Moo, the person that I trained under in the organization that I was in, that I grew up in, Baba Imhotep. So he told me that he watches me. So I was like, I think that's such an honor. I give great love and respect to Baba Imhotep always. I am a super powerhouse today because I definitely trained under the best. So I salute, I give love, and thank you for uh, following me. I don't even know if I can say that he follows me. In that kind of, I don't know. But love and light always. The world is getting changed, okay, Baba? Thank you so much. So, with that shout out, I want to go ahead and move into self intimacy. So each of these components, self intimacy, inclusive intimacy, spiritual intimacy, each of them contain, when they're in dysfunction, each of them contain a level of intimacy intimidation. Each of them contain a level of intimacy intimidation. Whenever they're backwards, whenever they're counterproductive, whenever there are blockages, whatever we can't move through, there is some intimacy intimidation. So when we go into self intimacy, understand that a big part of you not being able to connect with yourself, truly love yourself, truly be evolved within yourself, a great deal of that has to do with being intimidated by the intimacy of self. Now, we are not just born with intimidation of intimacy. It comes with rejection, abandonment, abuse, trauma, toxic or toxicity, toxins in the body, in the environment, and around us. These things begin to slowly disconnect us from self. Dealing with dishonesty frequently, dealing with physical abuse, verbal abuse. These things begin to break you away from your natural self in order to find a self that can cope in your life. And with that, you have a lack of intimacy with self. You don't truly love self. You don't truly know self. You don't truly even trust self, because the people that represent self to you externally as a little person, you don't love, trust, or respect them. You fear them. You might pity them, but you don't love them truly and genuinely because of your experiences. And they reflect self to you. Before you truly know self, your environment reflects it to you. As a little baby, as a child, as an adolescent, you are like, who am I? You don't know who you are. It's just like that Dr. Seuss book, or that, I think it's Dr. Seuss. I think it's Dr. Seuss. Are You My Mother? And for those of you that are parents who have probably read that book 100 times like myself, you know that there's a little bird who gets disconnected from his mom, and he goes throughout the whole book asking everything: a truck, a horse, a cow, a chicken, are you my mother? A disconnection, right? So I'm saying that book becomes so fundamental because it talks about how you look for yourself in the world, how children look for themselves in their community, in their environment. So when you are looking for yourself, if you found abuse, if you found traumatizing experiences, if you found degradation, it disconnected you from your true self. All right, Ashe. It disconnected you from your true self. And therefore, now you have intimidation when it comes to being intimate with yourself. Let me tell you something, a thing or two about intimacy with self. We cannot go back, right? We cannot always go back. Good morning, beautiful. I'm so happy you have joined me. I'm in love with you and all of your support. Thank you so much. Let me tell you something about self intimacy, about loving yourself and being connected to yourself. Here's a cold hard truth. I gave y'all a disclaimer and a warning at the beginning. People are not worried about you. No one is worried about you. The people that are worried about you are not worried about you. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that people don't care. I'm not saying that people won't be there. I'm not saying you're not loved. I'm saying at the rate of which we are sitting back in our lives, in the passenger seat of our lives, we are waiting for someone to take the reins of respect and love in our lives. Nobody is worried about you. Listen, the people that traumatized you and abused you and hurt you weren't worried about you. They were projecting, they were protecting themselves, they were traumatized themselves. They weren't worried about you, the person, the spirit, the individual. You were an opportunity of release. And I mean, and as hard as that sound for those that were touched or violated, verbally abused, abandoned, rejected, you were an opportunity of a release of negative energy. They are not worried about you. The people that love you, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brother, they are not worried about you. Not in the way of the sole driver of your life. They care if something happens to you. They're going to be sad if you're not here. But when it comes to your life, self-care is what's going to save your life. Being present within self, understanding that no matter how much someone loves for you, they cannot drive for you. They cannot drive this life for you. So you better get real comfortable with self. You better fall in love with self. You better do anything for self. You better fight for self. People are not worried about you. They don't even have the capacity, and it's nothing wrong with that. No one is responsible for your grown self. No one. No one is responsible for you, for your happiness, for your joy, for your peace. No one is responsible for that. Others are there to contribute. They are necessary for growth and development and exchange, but they are not responsible for your happiness, for your peace, for your joy. They are not responsible. And if you are walking around beating that drum about love me more, care for me more, take care of me, make sure I'm okay, make sure I don't drown. If you're beating that drum, I am going to declare today that you are having some intimidation. You're intimidated with the thought of being solely responsible for yourself. You're intimidated with the thought of bringing yourself great joy, great peace, great happiness, and contentment with nothing else other than yourself. You're afraid of it. Maybe you feel like you can't do it. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough. Or maybe you feel like you're not worthy. These are the traumas and the blocks throughout life that have separated you from yourself. So when you start to think about intimacy, I don't even want you getting involved with any type of intimacy that does not involve you first removing those blockades of disconnection of self. You must connect to self first. Get connected to yourself in order to understand intimacy. In order to, good morning, my love. In order to, today's my godson's birthday. Happy birthday, godson. He is a Libra, and you know how us Libras and Aquarius do. Rock out. We rock out as air signs. Hey. So, but intimacy with self. So my thing is, if you're getting to that place where you are, again, like I said, you walking around town beating that drum about who owes you what and who needs to, no one owes you anything. No one owes you anything. Now, we demand respect. We deserve respect. We deserve care and kindness. But no one owes you, I love you, no one owes you anything. So when it comes to intimacy with self, remember that we first have blockages with self-intimacy in the form of intimacy intimidation. And we're intimidated with connection to self because of the traumas in our life that have separated us from self. And because of that, we are afraid to connect with self. We have doubts, we have fears, we have myths, we have deceptions about self that are causing intimacy intimidation. We want to undo that in order to move that forward. Here's the second part to self-intimidation and self-intimacy. Intimacy is internal. Self-intimacy. Mind you guys, we're in self-intimacy. Intimacy is internal. So when you think you can't get within yourself, there needs to be a certain environment. Now, granted, guys, I get it. There are certain things that just make it easier. Peace and quiet. People that will support what you're thinking or what you're doing. Environment can influence. It is not mandatory for connection to self. You can connect with yourself in the middle of hellfires. You can go inside, love and evolve, and become strengthened within self in the middle of hellfires. In the middle of chaos, in the midst of a crazy workday, in the midst of an argument with a loved one, in the midst of self-hate and distraction, you can stop it. And you can go inside because the connection is internal. The external can influence, but it does not mandate. It does not have the power. So for those that claim that they don't give self-love because of the house they live in or the people they live around or the job they have or any other external component to why you can't have intimacy with yourself, why you can't sit and speak and talk truly to yourself, why you can't if I get my words together, why you can't delve and adore and explore yourself for hours on end and have peace and contentment. If you're trying to keep saying that something on the outside, I'm saying you have a self-intimacy intimidation block that needs to be undone. Because I'm going to give an example. You can be so in love with someone and it can be chaos. I mean, just a show of a day. Y'all know a ish show of a day. And they can call you and bring you peace. And just be, hi, beautiful. How was your day? And now the birds just start chirping, right? You can be in a place on a stage, getting ready to speak, have a presentation, and a certain person walk in the room, make eye contact with you, and you are empowered. You are ready to go. You are strong. You are brave. You are beautiful because it's not the environment with that connection, with that intimacy. It was the connection shared that made the intimacy spark. So in this particular or specific realm of intimacy, self-intimacy, we're talking about that same spark. We're talking about that same encouragement, that same peace, that same fire, but with your very own self. I mean, I can be, and I work with it. My work is high intense, high capacity, fast paced, high intense work. Okay, I'm working with hundreds of clients all day long, and I am bringing assistance to different clients, and it can be, but I just need a breath sometimes. I can just go right in between a call. Harmony, you got this. You're helping people. You're there for people. You're providing for your family. My conversation with self. My belief in self. My adoration of self. My applaud of self. My faith, my encouragement of self. Today wasn't the best day. You didn't show up the way you would like to. You let some stuff get to you. But it's okay, boo. You got this. You'll be better next time. You're going to go home. You're going to order you some Chinese. Going to watch a little movie. Take care of yourself. Heal yourself. You'll be better tomorrow. Self-intimacy. Self-intimacy. Now, being intimate with self. I'm not saying being isolated. I'm not saying being antisocial. These are not. These are circumstances. These are circumstances of loneliness or trauma. I'm talking about in a room full of people at peace with yourself. In a room full of no one at peace with yourself. I'm talking about not circumstance, choice. I choose to know me. I choose to love me. I choose to grow me. I love to learn me. I love to help me. I love to heal me. I just love the way I think. I love the way I do things. Peace, peace. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Yes, sis. I am saying that self-intimacy, it is internal. Internal. I don't ever want to hear, yeah, I want to eat better, but food is just so expensive. That's external. I want to work out, but I just getting up early, I just not a morning person. That's external. The sun coming out, that's external. That alarm clock, that's external. I want to read more. Just the time, the kids, that's external. Self-love is internal. The conversations are internal. The dedications are internal. The goal setting is internal. The motivation, all of that goes on the inside, transmutes onto and transmits out into the outside. So if you aren't there, you just aren't there. Be honest with yourself. I just don't love myself that much yet. That's the only thing I want to hear people say. When you come into a healing session with Mama Harmony, and it's just like, I'm trying. I just want you to say, I just don't love myself that much yet. That's what you say to yourself. That's the conversation I want you to have in reality with yourself. I could be dating better. I could be healing better. I could be connecting with others better. I could be eating better. I could be living better. I could be doing all these things better, but I just don't love myself that much yet. And what that declaration will do is it will force you to continue to move, to face what's really going on. Remove those intimacy, intimidation blockers with yourself and move on a mission to I want to love myself so much that there's nothing I won't do for myself. I'm saying this is more than possible. How do I know? I am a mother of 5 people and a EI of 1. I am saying, and a bonus mom of 1. I'm saying, I know how much you can love someone, that you give anything. You'll get up early and you'll go to bed late. You'll sacrifice. You'll go without. I'm saying, so don't tell me that type of love is not possible with yourself. It is. You just haven't, again, you just have intimacy, intimidation blockers with yourself. Deceptions and things that are intercepting, that are keeping you from connecting with yourself. Things throughout your life that have disconnected you from yourself, and you are not at the place of giving the love and the work to putting that back together. But self-intimacy is first intimacy. Self-intimacy is God intimacy. You have, again, if you are at the place where you just are not willing or ready to connect, be honest. But intimacy is internal. So the moment you start talking about why something on the outside is not letting you do what you need to do on the inside, you are just not there yet, love. You're just not there yet, king. You're not there yet, sis, queen, beloved. You just have not arrived in loving yourself enough for the internal intimacy with yourself. And when you reach that place of self-intimacy where you're able to say, you know what, I could be loving better. Ashe. Ashe. I could be doing better. I could be, you're so right, sis. I could be in a better place, but I just don't love myself that much yet. I want you to understand this. This is the last key for self-intimacy. And for those that are just chiming in, we're having a moment called Intimate Moments, and we're delving into self-intimacy, inclusive intimacy, which is intimacy with others, and spiritual intimacy, okay? This is the last part for self-intimacy. You must go inside to save your life. You must go inside to save your life. For those of you that think you're going to coast through life on the external, on the material, on the physical, you're going to just keep faking it till you make it. You're going to just keep perpetrating. You're going to die. You're killing your inner, true, most strongest, most powerful spiritual self every day that you neglect it, every day that you don't develop it, every day that you don't nurture it. You must go inside to save your life. There isn't enough money in the world to save your life. There isn't enough vitamin D in the world to save your life. There isn't enough of that poom 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 to save your life, brother. It ain't enough of it out there to get you right. There isn't enough alcohol. There isn't enough partying. There isn't enough recognition. There aren't enough clothes. There is nothing external that's going to save your life. You must go inside to save your life. And I'm talking about when the smoke clears and the dust settles and the lights go off and the crowd leaves. I'm talking about that space with you and yourself alone. That space with you and yourself alone. That's the space where true intimacy resides. True love, true joy, true contentment, true growth, the true future of yourself. It all is there. And if that's ugly, if that's distorted, if that's cold, if that's lifeless, you are going nowhere. You'll be in the same place at 224 as you were in 222. Because you went everywhere. We outside. You everywhere except for inside. I want the real sisters. I want the healing brothers. I want the ones that love themselves and working on themselves daily to say, we inside. We're inside. Y'all go outside. We're inside. I'm inside. You must go inside to save your life. If you're going to get to a point in your life where you love it, if you're going to get to a point where you thrive in it, if you're going to get to a point where you are elevating within your purpose of creation, the whole reason you're here. Trust me, y'all, I love a good purse and a great shoe. Love some shopping and some eating out, but that is not my purpose in life. It motivates me. It can move me towards some joy and some peace, get my mind right. But I came here for a reason. I came here for a whole reason. And I won't get to that reason if I don't get to myself. You won't get to that reason if you don't get to yourself. Trips are fine, friends are fine, love is fine, family's fine. All these things are great. These things are the effects. These things are the accessories. These things are the blessings of doing great work inside. Great work gives a great family. Hard, still work, not easy, not perfect, great. Great work builds a great family. Great work builds a great career. Great work builds a great reputation. Great work builds a great body of work. But nothing builds you to where you need to go like a great, intimate, sacred space with self. Great intimacy with self. I won't be great enough for any of this until I am on the inside with myself. And I'm great with what's going on the inside of myself until I am truly connected to everything inside of harmony. Everything. And there's a lot of things going on there. And I am truly connected. And I am truly in love. And I am truly forgiving. And I am truly patient. And I am truly diligent. And I am truly consistent with me. With me. That's when going inside will save your life. That's where you gotta go. You're trying to get to the therapist, that's great, it's necessary. I want you to be able to talk to you. And maybe he will get you there. But trust that you're doing all that. The facials, the yoga, the good diet. You're doing all of that just to get in tune with you. It's the main point. Go inside to save your life. Watch what happens when you cut that noise off externally and you go into joy internally. And you go and you do that work and you delve. And I'm not even talking about easy work, y'all. We always say that. Talking about some hard, gruesome, grueling truths, realizations, work throughs. But it's me, so I'm worth it. But it's me, so I'm worth it. I go in there, I hit a wall that's hard. Oh, do you want to deal with that? Do you want to do you want to come to that realization? Do you want to be honest about that? But you know what? It's me, so I'm worth it. This is hard. I can't sleep. I have to think. People that I thought I was close to, I'm really not. People that things that I've given my energy to have been in vain. When I dig and I look and I see why, this is a trauma bond. This is not what I thought it was. This is a pattern. It's not what I thought it was. It's hard, but it's me, so I'm worth it. And if I want to save my life, I have to go inside. And inside has to be somewhere I want to be. Inside has to be somewhere I want to be. How many of y'all have barely gone into a closet or a chest because the joint is just jacked? It is a mess, disorganized. I don't even go in that room because of how crazy it is. I've seen so many of my family members do that. Inside has to be somewhere you want to be. And if it's a mess, then you need to go clean it up because you're worth it. Because you won't survive outside of it. So at the very least, I'm going to need to take a weekend. You know, this is metaphorically speaking. Take a weekend and sort this all out. Pull it out. Throw some things away. Compartmentalize some things where they belong. Put it, vacuum it, spray it. Now it's somewhere I'm comfortable with visiting. Do that to the inside. So that was self-intimacy. Remember that with self-intimacy, we have those barriers because of intimacy, ashe, because of intimacy, intimidation. We talked about that intimacy is internal. We also talked that we need to go inside to save our lives. It's not even an option. Self-intimacy is not an option unless you just don't want to grow and heal. If you're going to get to where you were meant to go to, self-intimacy is not an option. Do it because it's necessary. Do it because you're worth it. Okay. Now, inclusive intimacy. Inclusive intimacy is intimacy with others. Y'all ready to listen to this? Intimacy with others. This is getting close to others. This is being vulnerable with others. This is being connected to others in spiritual, physical, emotional ways. This is having trust, being open, communicating, exchanging, engaging. All that sounds so great, right? So many of us suffer. So many of us are delayed and have disparities when it comes to having inclusive intimacy. For the same reasons that we're having intimacy struggles with self, we're having intimacy struggles with others. Inclusive intimacy the dysfunction of it has roots in intimacy, intimidation. Yep, just like in self-intimacy. Being intimidated with the thought of being connected with another person. It is for the same reason that we are afraid to connect with self. It is for the trauma that have pulled us away from self. We are afraid to connect with others for the trauma that have pulled us away from others. The abuse, the abandonment, the neglect, the rejection, the mishandling, the exploitation, right? All of those things have broken down our faith in the fabric of connection. Our faith in the fabric of intimacy with others, with ourselves. But in this regard, we're talking about others. We have had others do, say, and handle us horribly. We have had others destroy parts of our hope, parts of our innocence, parts of ourselves, our connection. And so now we suffer and have blockages today with inclusive intimacy. Ashe, with inclusive intimacy. We are at a place where we cannot get into, we're at a place where because of the things that we believed, because of the things that we experienced, because of the things we were exposed to, we cannot inclusively be intimate. I cannot connect with you. I cannot be with you. I cannot trust you. Even though I just met you, even though I just started working with you, or even though we just started, doing something together, I'm drawn to you. I'm attracted to your energy. We're going in the same direction. I can get with you. I just can't get close to you. I can get with you. This is destroying us. Getting with people and not connecting to them is only furthering our intimidation. Think about the people in your life that you are allowing around you but not in you. Think about the people in your life that you are comfortable with them being around you but not in you. It is only further pushing you away from the inclusive intimacy with them. It's not making you better. It's not making you closer that you are keeping them at bay. It's only furthering that trauma for yourself. It's only furthering that pain and that separation with self and others. And just like I spoke of earlier, the one thing that we must do to get closer to others is we must get closer with self. We must trust self more. Because I can't get close with you because I don't trust myself. I can't trust this voice. I can't trust these feelings because I don't trust me. This is all me. This right here, this is all me. It's not even you. It's not even you. It's all me. And so I can't trust this. I never will get close to you because this is saying love you, include you, speak to you, be with you, open up to you. It's saying that. But when that person violated me, offered me something to take something from me, I learned that I can't trust myself. When that person spoke to me, told me I was nothing, told me I would never be anything, I believe them more than I believe myself. I don't trust this person. When I was 13 or 14 and I walked into that school like I'm the ish, and that first person was like, oh, Harmony ugly. She stinks. She's stupid. She country. And I allowed you to take that from me. I no longer trusted me. I had one mindset at the beginning of the day. I had your mindset by the end of the day. And it still happens as adults. And so we don't trust this. So when this is never going to let me get close to you because I don't trust it. We are suffering with intimacy with others because we are not being able to be intimate with self. And let me tell y'all something magical that happens with self-intimacy. With self-intimacy, once you get close enough to yourself, because the Creator lives within you, once you get close enough to yourself, your superpowers are on fleek. You can be around someone. It's not even about trusting my trauma at this point. My trauma don't even play a game in it. I have gotten close to myself that I don't have to worry about being tricked by my trauma. I can literally feel what type of person you are. Literally feel your intent. Literally feel your direction. So, because I not only trust myself, I've become myself. My powers are on fleek. So, all the fear that you're having about making the wrong choices, about recreating patterns, or about revisiting or re-experiencing these horrible and harsh things, they're delusions of trauma. They're delusions of trauma. Because what really happens in real life is that you connect with yourself and it allows you to create with others. The connection with self allows the creation to connect with others. It doesn't do you worse. It does you better. Trust yourself. Do the work with yourself. Go inside of yourself. It won't make it worse. It feels that way. That fear and that intimidation is necessary. That block is there to keep you from digging. But if you break through it and you come out on the other side of it, it's something wonderful. It's something wonderful. Okay, I'm going to have an analogy for y'all. And it's a grown-up analogy, okay? So I'm be speaking in codes because I don't want none of my young people, okay? I want some of us to think about the first time we had that big experience, right? And when we had that big experience, there's a peak and a point, the explosion. But in the beginning, you never felt that explosion, okay? Y'all can say Ashe if you know what I'm talking about. You never felt it before. So the first time you got to that explosion, you were scared to death. You probably even backed out, stopped. Something is happening with my body. Something's going on. I don't know what this is. Might have mistaken it for another bodily function. You're like, I got to do this thing. All that time, if you just thugged out that little strange feeling, the whole rest of your life was on the other side of that feeling. Ashe? Okay. Everything was on the other side if you let it happen. If you got to that build up and got to the other side of it. Now we grown, we know what it is. We out there searching for it. Okay? But some of us in the beginning were just like, I don't know what's going on. I got to stop this. Finding and loving and growing yourself happens in the same way. It is scary. It is intimidating. It is confusing. It is discombobulating. And you might be so inclined to back all the way up. So inclined to let it go. So inclined to be like, these feelings, this rush of emotion, this rush of realization, I don't know about this. But let me tell you, your whole life is on the other side of that explosion. Go on through that little uncomfortable feeling. Go on through that little new, what the heck, hey, is going on with my life right now. And when you get to the other side of that, you'll be like, this what life is all about? Is this what love is about? Is this what intimacy is about? Is this what growth is about? Is this what God is about? No, girl, it's on the other side of all them feelings. It's on the other side of all that fear. It's on the other side, okay? So, intimacy with others. Here's the thing. When it comes to intimacy with others, while our blockages for intimacy with others do come from us at first point, it does not mean we are not still drawing, our trauma is not magnetizing the wrong people into our lives. So I don't want you to go out there and say, you know what, honey, I only can't connect to you because I don't trust my brain and my heart. I don't trust my spirit. Let me get the trust in you. Because you might have still drawn him in with your trauma. You might have still drawn her in with your trauma. You still might have drawn in these classmates, these coworkers, these friends, this group with your trauma. Wait, pause before you just start going to let people in. Because your trauma could have already done a lot of work up until this point. Don't go out there and move fast, move smart, okay? Understand that even if it is your mind and your heart that have played tricks on you, Ashe, you're so silly, Z. Even though it is your mind and your heart playing, like you say, playing tricks on me, it's playing in my trauma tricks. Understand that even when you get to an enlightened place where you say no more, I am not going out anymore looking for my mother and my father in a mate. I am not going out anymore looking for healing and forgiveness in another person. I am not going out anymore looking for satisfaction and validation in any entity or any flat platform or any form other than myself. I'm so happy if you get there. Do not also be so eager to be like, well, now that I know, all do come in. People are out there still on the same journey you were on. They're still broken. They're still trying. They're still not together. Do not be paranoid, but be protective. Once you heal, you move away from paranoia and you move into protection. Once you heal, you move away from paranoia, you move into protection. But guess what? The beauty of that is you hear differently, you see differently, you feel differently as you begin to heal. So you'll protect differently. I mean, I'll talk to you, but that red flag come up quick, I know what it is. I'll connect with you. I'll hang out with you. I'll give you love. But I know about that red flag. I know about that trauma when I see it because I'm not paranoid. It's not a delusion. I'm just protecting. In protection, I want you to know that inclusive intimacy, that is a term that I have created for this moment. Inclusive intimacy, which means the intimacy with others, is earned. It is still earned. Just like I had to sit and earn love with myself. I had to sit and earn forgiveness with myself. I had to yoga, meditate, eat right, pray, go to bed early, fast for some loving inside of myself. You're going to have to do the same thing for my love. You're going to have to do the same thing for my love. You don't know what I had to go through to get to loving myself. You'll never know what I had to go through to get to loving myself. And when it comes to intimacy, you're going to have to earn it too. Oh boy, oh buddy, oh homegirl, what you going to have to go through to get to loving me and to get some loving from me is earned intimacy. Earned intimacy. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to be true. You're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to, when you fall, get back up. You're going to have to be accountable. You're going to have to grow with me. You're going to have to be in a rough season with me. You're going to have to be in some good seasons with me. You're going to have to be able to applaud. You're going to have to be able to hold up. You're going to have to be able to give in. You're going to have to be able to have some intimacy shared with me. You have to show me your heart before you get mine. Or we can do it at the same time, but the heart's got to get shown. Intimacy with other people is earned. It's earned. You don't owe anybody intimacy. No one owes you intimacy. You don't earn anybody commitment. No one owes you commitment. No one has to expose themselves to you. But guess what? You dang sure ain't got to expose yourself to anyone else. But, here's the big but. But if you do, oh, will you be closer to the Creator for it? Oh, will you be closer to the Creator for it? So, intimacy is necessary because connection is necessary for growth and development. Okay, I got to put the Legos together to build something. Can't nobody build no tower of Legos and them Legos don't lock into one another. I got to put them together to build. But here's the thing, I don't have to build with anything. And I don't have to build with anybody. I can earn the intimacy, the beauty, the privilege, and the power to build. I can earn the beauty, the privilege, the power to connect. We can earn it. By you showing up and bring your peace, and I'm going to show up and bring my peace. I'm going to do what I say. You do what you say. I trust you with some. You trust me with some. And look at before we know it, this bridge we done built and got over it. Ashe? Okay. Intimacy is earned. This is going into a long moment, so I'm going to try to, y'all know? Okay. Godson's birthday party is today, okay? Aw, y'all so sweet. Okay, here's the last thing. Here's the last point with intimacy, inclusive intimacy, which is the intimacy with others. Intimacy is a safe and sacred space. Intimacy is safe and sacred. Why is that a note on inclusive intimacy? Because we often get confused about who to be intimate with. We often get confused about who to be vulnerable with, who to share with, who to connect with. And in this world of immorality and dysfunction, it is so easy to get linked up with somebody just based on trauma, to trauma bond. So when we need clarity on I am drawn to this person, I am attracted to these people, I am going in the same direction, I have desire to go and build with this entity, what we need to understand is that intimacy is a safe and sacred space. If you are in a space with anyone, any group of people, any individual, your homegirl, a family member, your mate, a homeboy, your brother, your sister, if you are in a space and it is not safe or sacred, it is not a space for intimacy. But if you are in a space that is both safe, they have demonstrated safety to you, it's sacred, it's going to be honored, it's going to be protected, and you still can't give intimacy there, you have up that intimacy intimidation blocker and you need to do your work. You got to go back and unlearn those deceptions about you not being worthy, you not being good enough, you not being trusting, you not being what you need to receive the greatness in your life. You got to go undo that work. But if you are in a place and you're saying, man, I like these people, I love this guy, I love my sisters, right? You're in this place and you're like, I want to share. I want to get closer to you. I want to offer you money. I want to come to your house. I want to see if you're good. I want to hang out with your children. I want to get into your intimate space. How can I trust if this is something I should be doing? Is it safe and is it sacred? Is it safe? Is it sacred? Will you be hurt in this space? Come on, y'all. It's just as simple. Or your trauma, your trigger's going to be, your trauma's going to be constantly triggered. Now, be careful, guys, because growth sometimes looks like a lot of triggered trauma, too. Okay? But we all know the difference, or we all should be learning and growing towards learning the difference of someone trying to help you and that trauma is triggered, and someone using your trauma to hold you down, finding joy in your pain, finding joy in your insecurities, finding joy in your instability. We should see that clearly. But when you are trying to be like, am I in a safe space? Can I say anything? Will the book of the law be, anything I say or do be used against me? Can I be myself? Can I get, if this is not safe, intimacy is not going down here. Intimacy is not, and I mean on every level, people, because some people like want to give the physical intimacy and say like that they just going to keep their spiritual intimacy. Like I said in the beginning, you cannot separate intimacy. You can't be close to yourself and not get close to others or close to God. Can't be close to God and not get close to others or close to yourself. You cannot separate intimacy ever. It is an entity. It's like air. It's like water. It is an energy. You cannot separate it. Intimacy, if you think, because all you're doing is killing intimacy in order to have a physical experience, but you didn't separate it. You caused more trauma than good, okay? But, and I don't even just mean physical intimacy like with the opposite or, you know, in that type of way. I mean also intimacy and just being able to love and kiss or hug or hold hands with someone you care about, your child, your sister, your friend, sit next to, lean on. Though physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, trust with your thoughts, trust with your apology, trust with your accountability. Intimacy is only going to happen in a sacred, I share y'all, it's only going to happen in a sacred and a safe space. And if you're somewhere that's not safe, everything you say and do is going to be used against you. That's not a space for intimacy. If you're somewhere that it's not sacred, whatever you share is going to be shared with others. Whatever you shared is going to be put in a file cabinet to bring you down later. Oh, thank you, love. I'm just reflecting. Intimacy is a safe, so when we talk about inclusive intimacy, which is the intimacy with others. Remember that we will have intimidation blockers that are making us deathly afraid and intimidated to connect with others. We want to work on that. Intimacy is a safe and sacred space. Don't ever be confused about what intimacy, if you should be, if you're experiencing it, if this is the time and the place. Simple. Is it safe? Is it sacred? And bro, if it's not, guess what you won't get? The inside of me. Literally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Okay? That goes for the brothers too on the other side. You know, got to come all together. It has to all come together. Intimacy is earned. You do not go and find yourself and then just give yourself away. You find yourself and then you protect yourself. You find it and then you protect it. Okay. The moment is going long. We're going to get into the last one. Spiritual intimacy. Spiritual intimacy. So we talked about self-intimacy and how hard it is for us to love self, trust self, protect with self, do for self. We talked about inclusive intimacy. And how hard it is for us sometimes to get connected to others, truly love others, truly let others in, trust, and be present with others. Spiritual intimacy. Now, this is the intimacy a lot of us don't like to admit. A lot. Because a lot of people go to church, or they go to the mosque, or they go to any of their even African-centered spiritual places and temples and you know, and we like, because we get up in there and we shout and we pray and we cry and we fast, that we are close to the Creator. There are people who are deathly afraid of the intimacy with the Creator. And that is still intimidation, but it is in the spiritual realm. You are afraid of what will happen if it is just you and God in a quiet space. You are afraid of what will happen if you just listen to the Creator. You are afraid of what the Creator will think or feel about you if you go into a space of communing and communicating with the Creator. You have intimidation blockers with the Creator, with the one who is the one of all, with who has created you. You're afraid to pray. You're afraid to have faith. Come on now. Because a lot of y'all was like, no, I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? You're afraid to pray. You're afraid to have faith. Don't tell me that you love the Creator. You are in relationship. You're in conversation daily and communing with the Creator, and you don't have faith. You're afraid to have faith. You are not connected. You're afraid of assignment. You're afraid of discomfort. You have intimidation in your spiritual realm. Spiritually. Okay. You are afraid to go in. You are afraid to grow in. You are afraid to engage. You have disconnections and you are tuned out of the Creator. The word intimidates you. The messages intimidate you. You ask for a sign, but then the sign scares the hell out of you. You ask to connect with those spiritual ancestors and those people in the ancestral realm that are related to you. You ask for them to visit and connect, and then you're scared the hell out of when they do. Get intimate with the Creator. Get intimate with your Creator. Creator, you see me as I am and all that I have been. I don't come before you in shame, but in love. I don't come before you in shame. I come before you in love and in gratitude and benevolence. I am asking. I am giving thanks. I am greeting. I am ashaying. I am acknowledging. But I am not coming to you in fear, in desperation, or in shame. Y'all, we do it. I'm talking about those of us that's prayed up. We do it. You come in a different way and you don't even understand that you're blocking your connection to the Creator. Ashe, Ashe. You are blocking your connection to the Creator. Don't do it. Don't go to the Creator like that. What you hiding from someone that, not someone, but from a being, an energy, a light? You gonna hide from light? You can't hide from their light. You cannot hide from the light. So embrace who you are and where you've been and what you're doing, and go and connect with the Creator that's going to bring you forward. Don't be afraid to have faith and hope and love in the world, in yourself, in your family, in your broken marriage, in your sick body, in your dilapidated finances. Where is your faith? Where is your relationship with the Creator? Where is it? Oh, you relating to the Creator via Cash App. That ching ching go off, you good with God. Right? He give you that ring, you good with God. Excuse me. No. You got to be good with God first. Do not take light your intimacy with the Creator. When I tell you it is my favorite intimacy, is that with God. I can't even be close to me without, we is one. We are one. Me and you, us, that's how I am with the Creator all day, every day. I don't care what comes and goes. You just don't. People so afraid of losing their mate, and so they'll lose God in dishonesty, in disruption, in chaos, and low vibrational. You'll be so afraid of losing your job that you'll lose God in your dishonesty and your corruption and your low vibrational energy. You'll be so afraid of losing your child that you'll lose God and your disruption and your controversial energy and your low vibration and your dishonesty. No, no, no. Have your sacred intimacy with the Creator. When you're intimate with the Creator every day and every night and all times and in every moment, when you are, you don't have to be low vibrational nowhere with anyone else. We talked about this in the past. You won't lose one thing. You'll get some lessons. But trust me, you can always gain with God. You always gain with the Creator. Always gain with Ra, Allah, whatever name it is that you call the Creator by, you'll be gaining. Always keep that intimate connection to Creator. When you speak to me, I hear it. When you move me, I feel it. I'm trying to tell you that I don't get clearer messages than I ever got in my life, and I hope they only get clearer as I get older. But right now, the Creator literally can tell me, don't go that way. Don't call that person. Don't do that. Do this. Pick up the phone. Call your niece. Check on. It's real. Intimacy with the Creator. And a lot of us don't want to admit to intimidation with that higher power, but you got it. You don't believe in it. You don't have faith in it. You're afraid of it. Whatever you've heard. You've heard that you were dirty, heard that you were unclean, heard that you were a heathen, heard that you were a whoremonger, that you were blasphemous. Whatever you've heard. It's the same reason we disconnect from ourselves. It's the same reason we disconnect from others and have intimidation, is because of the deception that has separated you. There has been deception that has separated you from Creator. You in a culture of people with a God complex, and they have separated you from your God. You're in a culture with people with a God complex who have separated you from your God. Get back together. You are in a life of dysfunction and immorality that have separated you from your God. Get back together. Get rid of those intimidation blockers. I'm getting back. I need intimate time with you. I need slow and steady time with you. I need sacred and quiet time with you. I need hard time with you. I need easy time with you. I need joyous time with you. I need explorative time with you. I need intimacy with the Creator. All right, y'all, this is going long. Intimacy is inspiring. It's inspiring intimacy to be connected to the Creator. It is the intimacy that is going to drive you towards your mission and your purpose. If you are out there again, how am I going to get where I want to go? How am I going to become who I was meant to become? What am I going to do with this life? What am I going to do with this in this world? This intimacy, the spiritual intimacy, this is your inspiring intimacy. This is your inspiration. This is the feeding of your gifts and your talents. This is the feeding of your path and your way. It is the intimacy with the Creator. I just want to be close to you. Y'all, sometimes I get up in this room and sometimes the children are everywhere. I can't even get no quiet space. But I just want to be close to you. I need a little bit more you in my day. I need a little bit more you in my cubicle. I need a little bit more you in my circle, my sisterhood. I need a little bit more you in my marriage. I need more of you. I need to be intimate with you, Creator. Intimacy, it will inspire you. If you're looking for the inspiration to change, if you're looking for the inspiration to grow, if you're looking for the inspiration to transform, if you're like, I want to, I just keep hitting this barrier, I'm trying to, I just can't get past this point. The inspiration you need is in the intimacy. The intimacy has the inspiration that you're looking for. Get into it. Okay, the next thing. Intimate, I think that's, who says that? Get into it. Tabitha Brown. My mama, Miss Tabitha Brown. She's not really my mama, but I look up to her and I love her. And y'all know how y'all run with stuff on social media. It's not really my mama, okay? But I call Tabitha Brown my mama. And she says get into it. I think she says that a lot. All right, the last thing, spiritual intimacy. There is a difference when we're talking about spiritual intimacy, because y'all blame a lot of stuff on God. When y'all think y'all growing, you blame a lot of stuff. But God told me, and I don't think God will want, and I don't think the Creator. Now, come on now. I'm not saying the Creator doesn't speak to you through fasting, through, but I want to talk to you when it comes to spiritual intimacy. I want us to clearly separate isolation from intimacy. Isolation versus intimacy. Excuse me. The Creator will move you from toxic individuals. We'll remove toxic individuals. We'll ask you to leave toxic situations. We'll ask you to go through, come out of horrible situations. But what the Creator will not do is heal you, grow you, love you, and protect you in complete isolation. Now, if you done got a sign from the Creator that said you can't talk to nobody, you can't be anywhere, you can't. Now, I'm not saying that while you're in temptation mode. You're an alcoholic, and so you're not going to the bars because you don't want to be tempted, or you're not going out with your friends because you know what their behaviors are going to do. I'm saying, and even when the Creator puts you in that place, He's going to send you your people, okay? But I'm saying a lot of times we start going to God, and then we get tangled all up with our trauma. We get tangled up with some deceptive voices, some other energies that are coming into when we're starting. We done let something else take over midway, and we still saying that God told us. Isolation is not intimacy. I don't talk to men. I don't mess with men because I'm intimate with myself. Nobody is going to put you in that position. You're not going to not be able to date in order to be intimate with yourself. I don't mess with people because I'm trying to be close to God. Oxymoron, then a mug. Okay? No, the Creator is not trying to have you get close to Him and far away from others, from your brethren. Okay? Toxic individuals, people that want to harm you, people that don't want to do you good, Creator will lead you away from that. Will protect you from that. But if you are confusing intimacy with the Creator with isolation from life, with isolation from exchange, with isolation from growth, you probably doing a little bit too much, okay? You can't listen to music. Now get it. Guard and protect. We talked about that earlier. Don't just be out here living reckless. But you get some people who will be have so much heightened trauma with intimacy that they'll go from one extreme to the next. They'll go from overly being external to overly being internal and will have no balance in exchange of intimacy. Remember, intimacy is an exchange. Intimacy is an exchange. All right, y'all, this moment done gone so long. Intimacy is an exchange. I don't ever want us saying that we're getting closer to the Creator and getting further away from things and people that we love, unless the things and people that we love were toxic and they were trauma bonds and not real love. But the Creator is going to push you towards real love. The Creator is going to push you towards real socialization, real community work, real attention to and with your children, real connections. What I'm trying to say is that connections come out of intimacy, not isolation. That's the point of that point. That's the point of that point. Connections come out of intimacy, not isolation. If you're connecting with anything that's making you feel further away, more alone, more by yourself, more kicked to the side and the curb, yeah, that's not intimacy. That's some whole bunch of toxicity. Intimacy creates connection. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for bearing with me. And y'all strong. Look at the numbers strong. Y'all been bearing with me throughout this whole moment. And I done went way over. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Please join me next Saturday for another moment of harmony. Low welling in the creek don't rise. I think I got it right this time. I love y'all all so much. And I look forward to another moment with you next week. Ashe, beloved. Thank you for all your love and your support today. Y'all rock. I swear. Y'all are the best. I love y'all so much.